Hello! Thank you for joining me on what I certainly think of as a momentous occasion. I have here before me, still boxed up, because we're going to unbox it, my silver play button, which I think of really as kind of our silver play button, because I wouldn't have this if at least 100,000 of you wouldn't have subscribed to the channel. So thank you very, very much. I know I say this all the time, but thank you very much for subscribing. And if you haven't yet, well, I bet you've already done that if you're watching this video. So let's let that go for right now. But thank you again. It's all of us together that have made this possible, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. It seems appropriate to do this unboxing in this room. And while perhaps the window behind me is somewhat recognizable, I know that just about everything else in this room has changed over the years. It's become a kitchen, where before it was, of course, where I was shooting a great many of the videos that are here on the channel. A lot of things change over time. And quite frankly, just about every aspect of the way that I produce these videos has changed over time. Cameras, software, microphones, routing, all of it has changed. But what I hope you will agree with me on is that one of the things that hasn't changed, or perhaps two things, are the quality and the content of what I produce here on the channel. A little bit of background here before we take this out of its container, which I can assure you I am very excited to do, so I won't be long. I grew up in a suburb just outside of Detroit. I loved music. It's a bit tricky to say I loved music from the very moment that I became conscious, because shortly after I became conscious, I was lucky enough to get 5 LPs, vinyl records of the Beatles. And I spent a lot of time listening to those while I was growing up. So I don't know if it was listening to the albums that made me love music, or if I just loved music and I was going to find it any way that I could. But I listened to those. I'm surprised I didn't just grind through those LPs on what can only be considered a terrible platform, because it was one of those little suitcase record players that you would open up and it just had the single little speaker. But again and again and again, I listened to those, and they absolutely fueled my passion for music all through my teen years, all through university at the University of Michigan, and beyond that, because the one thing that I always knew I wanted to do professionally in my world, in my life, was to be a musician, to teach music, to play music, to make music, to record music, to help other people make music, play music, record music, and do all of those things, because the act of artistry was so important to me. Now, I started the channel properly, in my mind, in November of 2013. There's some videos that predate that time, but that's when it really started to happen. And the reason why I did was because at that time, for a brief window there, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to continue being a musician. And I did not want the years of training and teaching and the understanding of the voice that I had accrued over those years to evaporate into the ether. I wanted to be able to share that. I wanted to be able to put it someplace where anybody who wanted to learn about using their voice, about sustainability, about the healthiness of their voice, about registration events, and being able to get more of their voice to fuel their own artistry. I wanted them to be able to find it and get that information and be able to use it. And of course, that brings us here today, where we now have, at this point, now there's more than 100,000 subscribers, because it's taken me a few days to think this through. But a lot of folks have been able to use these videos, and I could not be happier for it. And I, again, want to thank you for joining me in all of this, because the videos are there to help you get the most of your voice. And with watching them and subscribing and commenting and all of those things, It helps me to make the videos that are going to help you get the most from your voice. So I said I wasn't going to go on too long, and quite frankly, I really want to see what's in here. So without further ado, let's hope I don't hurt anything. This isn't the sharpest. There we go. All right. Now watch this. Yeah, totally more tape. Of course, there's always more tape. I should have got, there we go, that's better. Okay. Always more tape. All right. Okay, so now, honestly, I was really excited for a second there because it looked like some kind, like it looked like velvet, and I was like, wow, that is super fancy. It's a very nice piece of foam. Not velvet, but very, very nice foam. I will still probably save that foam. Congratulations on your subscriber milestone. This is a card from the award manufacturer. Very kind, thank you. I don't think I can read this letter out loud, so I will leave it on screen for a moment. If you wish to pause and zoom in, you can do so. And there it is. Presented to Jeff Rolka, that's me, for passing 100,000 subscribers. YouTube. And that is, I must admit, lovely. That's very nice. Thank you, those of you out there subscribed who have made this possible. I don't have a lot of these sorts of things in my world, and I am greatly appreciative of it. So there we go. Thank you for joining me for the unboxing. Of course, I'm here in I'm here in England. I'm here in the original room where all of this got started. And so I'm not going to hang this here. I will probably find a little spot to sneak it in the temporary space. And then when I get back, I'll find a proper permanent home for it. Thank you for joining me here. Thank you for being a part of the channel. Thank you for making this possible. I'm going to end this the way that I have ended quite a few videos. My name is Jeff. Take really good care of your voices. Enjoy singing. And hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.